Liminal spaces. We've been here before, and now we're back. See this photo right here? Time travel 25 years into the past, and boom, liminal space. Just how I like it. 9/11.
The real question is
9/11.
Oh wait, did you already?
I already.
'Cause I was
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah, it's the same
All
thing.
right.
Do you hear that?
These places are unsettling, disturbing, and very off. They can even remind you of your childhood, and of familiar feelings long forgotten. And so, why don't we remake some of these? And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video today. Recreating even more liminal spaces inside of Minecraft. So buckle up, sit back, grab a snack, and I'm gonna blow you away. I'm gonna blow you away. Yeah. Okay, here's our first image here. It appears to be a purple room with stone brick looking walls and a bunch of arches. I can recreate this, I think. Let's get right into it. Okay, so now before we get into the actual building, I have to address the elephant in the room. Last time I did this, you guys really wanted me to use Axiom, and I've now downloaded it, and I am in the process of, I guess, figuring out how it works. So you have this clone tool here. You can scroll to move it, I guess, different directions, and then I can, like, clone things. See? Fast place. Yes, please. Infinite reach. Oh, that's nice. That's what I was looking for. Okay, I think I am finally ready to get on with this first build. So, just like last time, I'm just going to pick a random spot. Just right here is fine. It's really going to be what looks to be a very small room. So, yeah, we'll start with the floor, I guess. But I do think that we do have two options for the floor here. I think either pink concrete or magenta. Maybe purple? Or actually, wait. Light blue terracotta and magenta terracotta are pretty close. I don't know. This is going to be a tricky one. We'll just start by laying some of these on the ground and just kind of testing and seeing which one looks closest to the floor's photo. The photo on the floor. You know what I mean. Alright. Definitely not this pink. That's too saturated. This purple's also way too saturated. Honestly? Yeah. It's odd, because light blue terracotta is the closest, but it's also, it has this purple hue in the original photo, and I want to replicate that. I am going to be going into Canva after this, and editing the photos to make them look closer in color to their, you know, original counterparts. So I think that's really gonna help. Wow, that's way too fun. I can play some fast too. That's so ridiculous. And it's so accurate too. It moves faster when you move, so it doesn't place them in like ridiculous spots. I don't even feel like I have the need to use the freaking fill commands if it's this quick. You know what I mean? Like just... I mean, yeah, it takes a little bit of aim, but... honestly, way faster than vanilla Minecraft, obviously. Alright, now we need to actually choose the walls, so that's important. I'm thinking just normal stone bricks. And I know they don't have the purple hue, but hopefully when we go into the editor, we can change this. And obviously it'll look like the color of the bricks in the photo. Actually, I have another idea for bricks. What about blackstone bricks? They're a little dark, but they have a purple hue. This is actually tough. This is actually really tough. It's like on one hand you have the blackstone. Oh my gosh. And then you have the stone bricks. It's so close. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute. I feel like I've never had to like think about something this hard before. Okay, I've come to a final decision. We're gonna use the blackstone because in the photo, the walls are a darker hue than the floor. And I think that's really important to maintain. And in certain areas, they're almost black. So I think this makes the most sense. But yeah, we're gonna get started with building the actual walls now. Okay, now it does look like at the top of this, we have a bit of a curved roof going on. So I'm thinking something like this could work. Yeah, just something simple like this. And then we can use stairs to fix the rest of it. Perfect. I'm figuring it out. Now, I do notice that it is actually very bright in here, even with just like little lights on the ceiling, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do for that. To give the illusion of like a light coming out of the wall. But I don't really know how much I like that. I mean, it's decently accurate, because these are tiny lights. You don't want like a big old sea lantern in the wall, you know what I mean? I think we'll stick with this for now. I'm gonna be so honest. I didn't think I'd be able to figure this out today. I thought it was gonna be some like super ridiculously complicated thing that everybody said was easy. But in all reality, it actually is easy. I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would be. I just didn't think it would be. But lo and behold, I was wrong. Now, I am going to be using a similar trick to my last video. If you haven't checked that one out, go check that out, because that is just like this video, recreating liminal spaces, and I think you'll like it, because there's about as much effort, if not more, put into it than this video does, so go check that out if you haven't already. But I think black concrete makes a really convincing shadow end of hall type deal. And there we go. Look at that. Literally just the end of the hall. There we go. Alright, I got night vision now. You guys can see. So, all of the archways, I believe, are done, right? 1, 2, 1. There are none over here. I think it has something to do with the perspective of the photo. But it does look like after this, the wall collapses a bit. But only, like, around this level. It's really odd, because it's an incomprehensible garble of AI, right? Like, it doesn't know how structures work, so it's like some weird perspective trick. This isn't actually real. Believe it or not. Now, I don't know if Axiom has any sort of ability to stop block updates like vines growing, so we're just going to use a good old trick of putting a bit of string under it and calling it a day. I mean, you can hardly see it. Or actually, no, wait. I have an even better idea. You see those leaves on the ground? Boom. There's going to be leaves on the ground anyway, so we might as well use this leaf litter for something. Alright, more vines. This time... Oh, wait. I can do, like, incomprehensible placements? That's crazy. What? Can't do that normally. Man, this Axiom mod's insane. I think I'm just going to give myself a barrier, to be honest. I mean, you literally can't see it, so I might as well just use that to stop the vine from growing, because I don't know how to make it stop growing. Okay, after tons and tons of finicking, I think that this is going to be the final photo right here. This is the final photo position. This took me like 10 minutes to come up with. Now we just got to throw it into an editor, and I will give you the final result. Okay, on to the second build. I was messing with some of the Axiom settings, and I accidentally destroyed the roof on this one, so good thing we already got the photo. But yes, the next build is the one that you just seen. It's this kind of like sprawling building section, I guess. There's, looks to be, what, 4 of them? And a bunch of lampposts. This may or may not be a real photo. Either way, I think building this will actually be pretty easy. I'm thinking white concrete, of course, for the walls. Like, I honestly don't know what else you would even use, right? And then tinted glass for the windows. And then obviously the ground's going to be made out of grass. And we need something for the poles. I don't know why I just looked up pole. There's no poles in this game. Honestly, iron bars might work. And if iron bars are too skinny, then I'm thinking andesite walls. Andesite walls. And then for the light, what like sources of light do we have in this game? Lantern. Ooh. Ooh. It's not giving off the orange light that I want, though. I'm thinking... What about shroom light? So we have two options. Either shroom light or glowstone. The shroom light gives off more of an orange light, but I think it looks a little bit too... alien, almost? It doesn't give the vibe of being on a suburban street. So what about just using a good old-fashioned lantern? Gives you that orange light, but it is going to be hanging slightly differently from the photo. I think that'll be fine, though. I think it'll still look good. It'll just be slightly different than the original photo. But yeah, now let's use some of this axiom knowledge and get to work building these buildings. Okay, so now I need to guess the height of these. It looks like the windows are about 2 blocks tall. So I'd have to assume that you would have 2 blocks. Then your window would be around here. And then around 3 more blocks. And then another window. And then looks to be 3 more blocks in another window. So that looks to be about the height of the building there. And then we can probably just assume that the windows are about 4 blocks wide. At least that makes sense to me. What about panes? Because that's kind of what you have. Yeah, okay, the panes are actually how we're going to do this. Because they do actually seep into the block, the windows. They seep into the wall. They don't go all the way out. Forgetting how to use this. It's been a few days. So you have your clone, stack, and smear. I think what we're going to want is smear. So let's get our first point, and our second point, and then smear it. Probably about that long. It doesn't really matter because it's not going to be showing up in the photo. In fact, we can actually use this wall for everything. So like, watch this. So we're going to have, obviously, a space between the next windows. It looks to be about 3 blocks. So we'll do this. And then what we can do, hopefully, is copy this entire thing from here to here. And then I can move it this way. But how do I rotate? Control R to rotate. Okay. Oops. I didn't mean to paste it there. It just kind of like did it by accident. But yeah, that's what we can do. Okay, perfect. Wait, I'm confused. I'm confused on what the angle of this photo is. It seems like it's like this, right? But then how do you get the other building in? It's diagonal. Wait a minute, this is going to be harder than I thought. Okay, let's just confirm paste this for now, or not. It'll just not work. That works too. I feel like that's right. That seems like it's the right spot to me, right? Because you're going to be taking the photo from right here, and then you'll be able to see all of this. All right, and now we have to replace some of these windows, because like these don't exist. I don't know how I pasted this twice. That was an accident. I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, I could clean it up, but you're not going to see it. Okay. The photo's not like this. It's like this. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I'm a bit dumb. This might be an AI-generated photo, or it could just be the perspective that it's taken is confusing me. So I am going to have to actually adjust where these are. So one problem I'm noticing is that these buildings are slightly diagonal, so we have to, like, almost sort of fudge how we're going to get the viewing angle for this photo. Because obviously you can see on the photo that the building comes out diagonally like this. But since it's Minecraft and you only have 4 points of direction where you can actually build, you can't see the front of this building. So what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do is probably something like this, where I do a sort of fake diagonal front, but enough to where you can actually see it in the photo? It's really tricky. And if we're taking the photo from right about here, this is the viewing angle that makes the most sense at the moment. Is right about here. It does work. Okay, so you can see the front of this. I think it should come up a bit, though. I swear, I've probably used this trick for Windows more than anything else so far in any build. Like, this has just been reused so many times. But the best tricks usually are the ones that are used very often. Kind of makes sense. I have officially gotten the angle for the photo. It's going to be right around here. I think that encapsulates everything perfectly. And of course, we're going to go to nighttime when we take the actual photo. And probably mess with some of the darkness settings. Or even use like a background remover. Maybe to replace the sky with just pure blackness. Okay, so now we need to test what kind of light that we're going to use. At first, I was kind of just thinking, you know, your standard that or that. Or like this. Like a combination of both. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just had a heart attack. There's a stink bug on my phone. I have my phone on a little stand here, and he's just crawling. What is he doing? This ain't your house, pal. Bro, I've been hunting this thing down for days. It's disappearing. Get downstairs. I'll back you up later. Yeah, I think that we're going to be using this one now that that's over. I think I've decided this is going to be the light I use. It is a bit thick, but it just kind of looks more pronounced than the iron bar. And I really have to stop pressing tab to go into my inventory. I've been playing far too much Hytale lately. Okay, I think I got it. I think I got the photo. I think this is honestly about as close as we're going to be able to get it in Minecraft. Finally time to go on to the final build, and I've wanted to do this one for a while. It is Prismo's Time Room from Adventure Time. Favorite show pretty much ever, so I think it'll be really cool to recreate something from it. Already off the rip, it seems like yellow concrete is going to be the answer. It is a bit of a saturated yellow, and I was hoping for a lighter one, but as you can see, for the options for yellow blocks, it's kind of slim. And the whole point of his time room it's a solid yellow, so no wool or shulker box or anything is going to help. We're just only going to be able to use yellow concrete. It's the only option, unfortunately. I wish there was lighter yellows. Minecraft, get on it, please, now. So his time room seems to be suspended in air, and I think this actually gives me the perfect chance to use Angel Place. What? That's so cool. And then it just spawns a block in the air for you. So it is crooked, technically, in the photo, but I don't think that really matters because, I mean, it just depends on the perspective that you're looking at it from, right? Like, it doesn't really matter what angle it's at. Now, the length of the actual hole to enter the time room is kind of subjective. Like, there's no measurements, right? Like, you can't really tell how big each block is. So I'm going to say it's 4x4. That way we can make it quite large, and then we can take the photo from far away, you know? I have got to be careful with this infinite place. I'm just placing blocks all over the place over here. There's no sense of preservation whatsoever. Now, I think something that is really important now that we got this done is to actually fully disable clouds. So I guess I'll just turn the opacity all the way down. Because it is, like, the time room exists, you know, not on Earth. So I think it makes sense to get rid of all of the clouds and just leave the stars. And right here, it's kind of the angle we want. So really quickly, I am going to scatter this area with rubble. Like, to be honest, this is the photo. But I do want to do some editing to it first, because this is like a very simple kind of basic box with holes in it. Like, there's not really that much to it. Okay, that concludes everything for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want, you can like and subscribe, because I'm going to ask you, because that's what every YouTuber does. Deal with it. Also, if you want, you could join my Discord server. There's a link down in the description. Most Saturdays, we do movie or game night, so you guys can show up for that if you want. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.